what was Iraq actually hiding? There is a theory that the US stayed in Iraq for over a decade after it was liberated, not because of oil, but something way more powerful. Well, you see, in the 1920s, a British explorer discovered what was rumored to be the oldest known stargate in the world, located at what is known today as the Great Ziggurat. However, in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fortified the ancient complex in an attempt to keep out explorers from seeing what was hidden inside, or at least that was the official statement. Furthermore, strange ancient technology has been seen coming out of the Great Ziggurat, rumored to have come through the Stargate from an ancient civilization now living on the hidden planet Nibiru, with many people in recent times coming forward claiming to have been involved in classified programs in Iraq where Stargate technology was used.
So the Denver airport theory goes that they had this airport, right? They were building, and for whatever reason, it went $2 billion over budget.
Oh, it went over budget.
Yeah, it went $2 billion over budget, and it was dragged on for an extra 15 months.
Oh, so they were building some next shit.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So these construction workers came out, and then they said that they're building underground buildings.
I heard of it.
Like, I think 5 something underground buildings with multiple floors underneath the airport. So the whole theory is that this airport has a bunker for like the elite.
Yeah.
Like the Freemasons, the elite, the rich and powerful, right? Now, there's so many different like kind of symbolism around the airport.
Like the horse, right?
Yeah, there's one thing, it's called like Lucifer.
Yeah, Lucifer.
Yeah, bro, it's like a blue demonic horse with glowing red eyes. Like
Lucifer. Oh, what?
how obvious could that be?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Mercedes have added neon accents to their car, which make their driver numbers easier to see now. My conspiracy theory here is that when it would benefit Mercedes, Toto plans to cite an obscure rule that is actually in the rulebook that states that driver numbers must be clearly visible. On most cars, they are not clearly visible, as anybody who has ever been to an F1 race in person will tell you. I think it's very possible Toto knows this rule and plans sometime this season to go, hey, look, you see that car that beat us? They actually have not visible driver numbers on their car, whereas we, Mercedes, have very visible driver numbers. They're neon yellow, the most visible color there is. So please penalize them accordingly. That's my conspiracy theory, and I'm sticking to it.
I mean, isn't it common sense that they fact check all of these things before they start the race? Or am I missing something? Because it sounds so ridiculous.
The more I get into this, the more this is really looking like a cover-up. I'm like shaking right now, I don't know why. I guess, like, part of this angers me? I don't know, wait till you hear what I have to tell you. So, the French military agency locked up and prohibited access to the files of the investigation into Diana's death. And for some reason, they locked it for 75 years. Okay, but then I was like, yay, we'll know in 75 years. The truth will come out. We'll know if she's alive or dead or murdered, or what happened. But then upon further investigation, I was sadly disappointed because it turns out that just weeks before the $12.5 million Euro inquest into Diana's death that was held in Britain, 2007 to 2008, the French agency claimed they lost the 6,000-page.
Remember when we watched Black Phone? Yeah. Do you remember seeing the scene of the paperboy with the dog? So that was an actual case in the 80s, right? There was a 12-year-old boy. His name was Johnny Gosh, and every morning him and his dad would go pick up the papers, and then he would just go off on his regular route. And there was this one time where his dad didn't want to go. I guess he was tired, so instead of him going by himself, he just took the family dog with him. He goes to pick up his regular newspapers to deliver, but then there's another man following him in the car. Then a neighbor says that they heard like someone closing the door really loud, and the car just skirting off, and then all that was left was his wagon, and the dog was there too. But not until like later in the day, neighbors complained that they didn't get their newspaper in the morning. So they got worried. They called the cops. Dumbass cops were like, yo, you gotta wait 72 hours because he's probably just another runaway. You gotta wait. So time passes. There was a prisoner who came out. He worked for another guy, and the guy is in charge of a business selling kids and kidnapping kids. He had showed him a picture of Johnny, saying like, yo, this is the next kid we're gonna kidnap. They end up going to Johnny's neighborhood. They fucking kidnap him, and he says that the guy basically forces Paul to Johnny on tape. All this shit he claimed to a detective, but The FBI didn't believe him. I don't know why. And then more years pass. In 2006, she ends up getting mail. She opens it up. And it's 3 pictures. I'm not going to show you the pictures. I'm not going to pull them up because it's 3 young boys.
One of the boys is Johnny.
She said that one of the boys looked exactly like Johnny. She told the cops too. Like, they didn't think it was him. So they didn't investigate it even more. So they just left that case as it is. And to this day, he has never been found. And he's also one of the first of many.
On the milk cartons?
They will show missing kids in the milk cartons. He was like one of the first missing childs that they will put on there.
Bill Cosby is one of the worst sexual predators in American history. This case is long and extremely disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. Bill Cosby was born in 1937 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And through his work and his career, he would become one of the most influential actors in American history. Bill's career started in doing stand-up comedy. He toured the nation, played shows all over, and appeared on various late-night TV shows performing his stand-up. He appeared in a lot of movies and TV shows, but his biggest thing that he was ever involved with was The Cosby Show, where he played your average, caring, all-American dad. He even gained a reputation and a nickname of America's Dad because so many people believed that he was this father figure that should be looked up to and respected. But behind the scenes, he was engaging in some of the most deplorable behavior I've ever read about. So the earliest allegation against Bill Cosby was actually made way back in 1965, when a woman named Christina Rulli came forward and said that he had drugged and assaulted her at a party. But nothing ever came about after that allegation. In the early 1980s, another woman came forward named Joan Tarshis and claimed that she had been assaulted by Bill Cosby. Then, in 1996, a Playboy Playmate came forward and said she had been assaulted by Bill Cosby. And again in the 1990s, Wendy Williams, who now has her own TV show, she was a radio host, she referred to some allegations against Bill Cosby, and apparently in the middle of the night after she had done this segment on her show talking about the allegations, Cosby personally called Wendy Williams his boss and demanded that she be fired. I mean, this case is so deep though, it's crazy how many allegations were made against this guy and no one ever did anything. For example, in 2000, a woman came forward and said that while at Bill Cosby's Manhattan townhouse, he had exposed himself and attempted to grope her. Cosby said this didn't happen and they brought the case to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and they declined to prosecute. Then in 2004, a Temple University employee came forward and said that Bill Cosby had drugged and assaulted her. But the Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office said that there would be no charges brought against Bill Cosby because of a lack of evidence. I mean, I could sit here all day and go through all the different times people tried to expose Bill Cosby over the years, but this would be like a 20-minute long TikTok. But then Hannibal Buress enters the picture. So you might know Hannibal from the Eric Andre show or his stand-up. Personally, I think Hannibal's one of the funniest people on the planet. But at a show in October of 2014 in Philadelphia, Hannibal Buress made a Bill Cosby joke. He had been telling this joke for months, 6 months actually, before the night of this show in Philadelphia. And in the show, he joked about Bill Cosby's allegations. He even encouraged the audience to go home and Google Bill Cosby and see what pops up. This joke was meant to emphasize the fact that Bill Cosby had maintained this American dad, all-American guy image over the years, even though he had been accused of sexual assault so many times. And this video of the performance by Hannibal is what blew this case wide open.
The only people that the Mongols didn't take over, samurais fucked them up. The Mongols showed up and they tried to take over Japan on several occasions, more than one occasion. And every time they were met with these fucking dudes who actually knew how to fight and were sword trained, they were shooting arrows at distances, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? Japan was the origins of karate, judo, jujitsu. All that shit came out of Japan. Storms and that wrecked the Mongols' fleets during both attempted invasions in 1274 and 1281. They concluded that Japan was protected from invasion by a divine wind, or kamikaze, which was invoked in World War II to inspire pilots to launch suicide attacks on Allied ships.
You know why console games take up so much storage?
Console game.
Whenever you're downloading a game file,
Yeah.
why do you know why it takes up so much storage?
Why?
And this is the marketing to it.
Why?
So games and consoles like Call of Duty, Fortnite, they have such big files, so it takes up half the storage, so you have to delete other games. And it's a marketing strategy, so you only play their game. You have to delete other games.
Yo, that's so smart, bro. That's actually smart as fuck.
The recent Call of Duty was 200 gigs. How much?
Yeah.
How much is a regular Xbox and PS5? 500 gigs, almost half.
Nah, my mind's blown, bro. That makes so much sense, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's smart as fuck, because it's like you're literally removing the competition.
Exactly, yeah.
Damn.
They don't need to make it that big, but they add extra shit in it just so you delete that Fortnite so you can play Call of Duty.
That's a power move right there.
No, for sure.
That's a real power
For
move.
sure.
There's a theory that Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, is the son of Fidel Castro, the dictator of Cuba.
Oh yeah.
So the theory goes, Justin Trudeau's parents, Pierre Trudeau and his mother, they were swingers. You know, swingers are.
Swingers, like they move from relationship to
They
relationship.
trade partners, right? Bro, so take this in. The first time they visited Cuba, the first time Pierre Trudeau and his wife visited Cuba, they were super close to Fidel already. Like the first time meeting, super close, right? So there was speculation that they visited before and had like relations with him. This whole conspiracy like came up because freaking Fidel Castro's son, he committed suicide. And in his suicide note said, Justin Trudeau is my brother.
What?
Yeah. Now take this in. If you put a picture of Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro together, fam, I'm telling you, they look exactly the same.
Holy smokes.
They look the same. This shit I seen on YouTube was Obey the Walrus. Have you ever seen that video?
Nah, that sounds crazy.
So, okay, Obey the Walrus is like a cursed video.
Oh,
So it's known in the streets as a cursed video, fam.
Okay, yeah.
If you watch this video, like your nose will start bleeding.
Nah,
something
you're lying.
bad will happen to you.
What?
Like some shit will happen to you. You'll get bad news, something.
Nah.
Yeah. So my friend, he told me he was watching it with his boy. And on the way home, so he watched the video. He watched Obey the Walrus.
Yeah.
On the way home, he started biking. His nose started bleeding, and he crashed his bike.
Nah.
Yeah.
And you watched this?
I didn't watch the full thing because I was fucking scared.
Oh, okay.
And then another time, my cousin watched it. He was watching it like in the basement. I put it on for him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, watch this. I'm too scared to watch it.
And you didn't do it with
I
him?
ran upstairs.
The Earth could be larger than what we thought. For decades, there has been a debate about the shape of the Earth, whether it is round or flat. All of this could be a conspiracy, but what if the Earth had more than 7 continents? Since the Middle Ages and the emergence of the first maps of the Earth, humanity has always believed that the Earth contained 7 continents. However, governments could very well be hiding the truth from us. What if Antarctica is simply a giant ice wall that prevents us from seeing the rest of the continents? And what if, once you pass through this ice barrier, you discover the 20 continents that are actually hidden from us? What if there exists a map that shows them? There are theories that suggest these continents harbor prehistoric animals, extraterrestrials, and advanced civilizations, and that the 7 continents we inhabit are actually just a massive farm or business owned by a small group of creatures who are obscenely rich in the real world or in the other hidden continents.
Wait a second. Let's assume there was an ice wall, right? And there were continents. Then how come you know that there are actually 20 continents without knowing how many of them are there and what lies besides the ice wall? It doesn't make any sense.
Favorite human-made alien movie on the count of 3. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
District
Signs.
9.
Ooh. Signs. No,
Signs.
I really liked Signs, to be honest. Yeah. I thought Mel Gibson. Was really at the top of his game.
That's the one where they have to be really quiet, right?
They got to be super quiet.
Super quiet.
Yeah. And the design in the crop fields. You know who designed those?
Who?
So Razi, excuse me, I can never pronounce her name. Razi.
Yeah.
They hired her.
No.
Yeah, to do the crop circle designs for the movie Signs.
Was she posing as human at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think her name in the credits is like Christina Johnson or something.
Yeah.
Visual effects supervisor or something. But yeah, it was.
Makes sense. She's the best.
She is the best.
She's
Shout out
seriously
Razi.
so
I can't
talented.
do it unless I really try.
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, I didn't see you as a District 9 guy. I thought you would have said like, Alien 1.
No. Oh, I love that film. You know, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
But District 9 fucking prun. You fucking prun.
Ah, that's good.
Right?
That's good. That's
These
really
fucking
good.
pruns been here, and we're talking about apartheid. It's a metaphor.
That's a good New Zealand accent.
It's South African.
South African.
South
Okay.
African.
Sure.
South
I haven't
African.
seen the movie.
There's a theory that Kevin from Home Alone is actually the younger version of Jigsaw in the Saw series. So this theory states that because Kevin was so good at making traps and fell in love with the thrill of tricking and hurting the wet bandits, Kevin grew up chasing the same feeling that he felt when he was a kid. So these sequences in his life may have pushed him to become Jigsaw from Saw and continued his spree of trapping people into meticulous situations that cause them pain and harm. Now this theory goes even deeper because if you remember, Saw takes place in the big city, very similar to New York. And where did Home Alone 2 take place? In New York City.